Welcome to the 155th edition of Spooky Reviews from Spooky Ventures. I'm Gary Hill, and I'm your host and reviewer. This time around, I'm looking at a Blu-ray release of an odd film called Infinite Santa 8000. Yes, it's a continuation of our whole goal of putting spooky back into Christmas. This is an animated film. The animation almost feels somewhere between Wizards, Heavy Metal, and Beavis and Butthead, if you can picture that. In other words, it's not great, but is often stylized and features some cool cartoon drawing. But the animation of those images tends to be a little cheesy at times. The year is 8000 AD. The story centers around a cybernetic Santa Claus existing in a brutal dystopian future. This isn't the Santa you might expect, but he still has the dream of the spirit of Christmas at his heart. That can be said of the whole story, too. It's brutal and dark, yet it still manages to have an upbeat holiday message at times. Our Santa and his sidekick Martha find themselves going against a mad scientist with an army of constructs, including a giant Easter bunny. The scientist is out to destroy them in part because of some history between them, but I won't get into that so as to avoid spoilers. I will say that the mad scientist character has some definite Wicked Witch vibes at times, and there are flying monkeys. Then again, I'm almost reminded of the High Evolutionary from Marvel Comics by that character. This is not a kid's cartoon at all. There is a lot of violence, gore, and foul language. The story is at times a little sparse with a focus on endless violence. While I think I would consider this more science fiction and dark fantasy, it does have some horror elements, which earn it its coverage here. As bizarre as this whole thing is, it has some real emotion and is fun. If anything, that quirkiness is actually one of the charms of the movie. And as dark and brutal as it is, there's an almost wholesome, cheerful angle at times. This disc includes a lot of bonuses, including the web series that was the original incarnation of the story, interviews, and more. I always say that people buy movies for the movie, but not for the bonuses, but this disc definitely has some worthwhile bonuses. So the final word, if you want an unusual animated addition to your holiday viewing experience, you really should check this out, particularly if you're a fan of anime, because this also at times really does feel like anime. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.